Yo, out with Phil again, fishing and fiddle. And today is the last day that we can go out for salmon fishing because it gets super, super windy. We barely have a window today because it gets windy at 12 o'clock. So we're gonna try to get some, I've got this new pressure canner. I'm gonna try to pickle some salmon. Never done it before, but they say the shelf life of this stuff is like 10 years. You don't even have to refrigerate it. So we're gonna try to get some salmon. Hopefully we get lucky, get something, and I can try this new canning method for the very first time. We got a larger anchovy on that one. I'm gonna tie up a couple other cable baiters right now. This is a smaller one. Phil's got the crippled anchovy. We're trolling. I'm at 90 feet. How deep are you going? 60s? 50?
I'm at 45 right now.
45, okay.
Anytime now. 6:30, so got plenty of
time. Yeah. 6:37, 8, 9, 10, 11. Even if we fish until only 11. Oh, fish on.
There you go. Oh, that was good. Fish on.
I think he may have came off.
Oh, no. Did you lose your weight?
No, still got the weight. On?
Yeah.
Woo, he's on one. A big one, too.
Yeah,
oh, wow. This is a good one. This is a good fish. Uh-oh. Okay, you're good.
Still hot.
Oh, no. Nope. A little bit more.
Alright, hold on, he's running. I'm just taking some light. See if I can.
Right on top. Got it. Woo! Ew, yeah.
Got it.
Nice.
Nice.
Heck yeah, dude.
Good job.
That's a good one, man. That's a really good one.
That's a nice one.
Oh, yeah. That's 15 pounder. That's fatty.
That's a fat one. That's a
That is a
football.
fatty. Heck yeah, dude.
Let me bonk.
Yeah, bonk his ass. Woo! There's one. I'm gonna get this right back down.
Yeah, get that down. I think we're in a good spot.
And I love netting. Netting is fun.
Okay. Oh! Yeah. I thought he saw
Oh, yeah.
it. No, you got it?
Yep. Fish on.
Nice.
Let's go, baby. Right when we turn back around.
Yeah, right at that bait ball.
Feels like it's small.
Feel.
Feels kind of small. He's right here.
You need a net? Or is it too small?
Can't tell.
I'd rather.
I still have my ball. Oh, it probably wasn't a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. So I'm using the sinker release. Phil's using a downrigger. I might as well use a downrigger. But anyway, this sinker release has two pins inside. One is a lot more tension, and that's the one I'm using. The other one is less tension. So I'm trying to get a bigger fish, and I don't want to lose the weight. So I'm using the longer clip. Oh, fish on.
Go.
Feels really good. Your drag and everything's good, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, this is a good one. Woo! Oh, he's coming in now. Yeah, I'm not even gonna mess with your drag.
Oh, jump.
Yeah, I saw that. It's okay. It's okay. Good one. Fish on.
Oh, go.
Fish on, baby. Oh, this is a good one too. Oh, this is a really good one. Oh.
This is a fat one too.
Yeah, that's a fatty.
Yeah.
Oh, we just got another one.
Man that one.
Okay, I'll get this one.
I'll try and get this guy off real quick so we can use the net again.
Okay, and you get the last one.
Look at this guy. It's a football.
Yeah, this is a big one. We just landed. This is the 20 pounder. Did you bonk him?
I got it.
Oh, you okay? Oh, hooked yourself?
I went through my hand.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. It's all good.
Barbless.
Yeah, barbless. It's all good. I got bonked.
Oh, this one's not that big. He's not that big.
Let me bonk this guy first.
Look at this thing.
We're good up front?
Yeah. Hey, I can net this one unless the line. Oh, the line's through the net. Never mind. Yeah. Still got a fish on right here. We're checking to see if any boats are in front of us, but it looks like we're clear. That hook is deep in this salmon's throat. Smaller one.
I think it's illegal. Nice.
It's not bad.
Not bad, not bad. It's not fat, but it's not short by any means.
No.
It's a good one.
We bonked him. Phil's gonna bleed him. I'm gonna get one more bait down, and we're gonna limit in about 30 minutes.
Maybe not even.
Damn, y'all, this is crazy. This is the hottest bite that I've ever been a part of, other than when I was out solo on the butter boat. But dude, Phil, you got poked in your hand, right? You okay?
It went. You can see the entry wound right here. The exit wound was right here. Ouch. So it went all the way in.
Luckily, it's barbless.
Yeah,
so.
I would have sucked because I was really dumb. I didn't bonk it before handling it, and that thing was just jumping and. I'll live.
Yeah, it's not too bad, right? It's just gonna be.
It doesn't even really hurt right now.
Good. Look, I'm in the middle of baiting this cable baiter and then got bit. So that's just how hot the bite is right now. So you know, fishing season is kind of just starting now with halibut and salmon and rockfish and tuna and all that stuff. And you know, in the off season, guys like me or tons of other people, I'm sure, they spend 4 or 5 months off the water. So once the season starts, you got to reacclimate your body to this ocean conditions. And you saw a couple videos ago, I was just throwing up like Batman. But now, I took one seasickness pill today. I mean, granted, it's flat out here, but when I was down south, it was super rough. And I feel like my body is getting used to it again. I'm ready to go out 2 times a week, start salmon fishing more, starting to get out on the boat more. Yeah, man, so exciting. Sure.
Oh, did you know they changed the regulations?
What?
That right now, it's 20 inches.
In Monterey, south of Fishing Point?
Right here, right now,
oh,
yeah.
Okay.
They changed that May 15th.
So right now, the bite is so hot, we're trying to fish for a big one. We got one 20-pounder, we're trying to get another 20-pounder. Fish on.
You got the shot?
Yep.
Go.
Small one. That's a silver. Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah, it's a silver salmon. I'm try not to touch it, but it's got silver gums.
I think right. Oh, there you go.
Going? Nice, dude. Oh, heck yeah. Phil got one. Good one, too. No one's in front of us. Nice, dude. It's a good one. All right, man. All right, you're clear. Woohoo! Dang, bro. It's a good one. It's a good one. Just let him take it. It's all right.
Oh, this one's hot.
Oh, get in there.
Yeah!
Yeah, baby.
This is a good one.
That's a really good one.
Woo!
Yeah.
We're done.
Look, y'all. Look at that. Look at that. That's a great one.
That's a good one.
Mom can bleed him. Look, y'all. Oh my gosh. The other one was bigger, I think.
Yeah, I think. But this one's a good size too.
This one's really good too. Look at that. Limits, it's 830. That one was probably about 16 pounds. That's my guess. The one before, 20 plus. We got like a 7-pounder and a 12. So we'll measure them when we get back to the dock. And then we're gonna go back home and try to do that pickling of the salmon. I'm gonna say the big one is 22 pounds. And I think the next biggest one is 16. What do you think?
I'm gonna say the biggest one's 18.
Okay.
18, 14, 12.
Okay.
I don't know about 12. Where? 18, 14, 14.
This thing is crazy. I didn't realize how big this one was. Look at this. Look at that. But that's not even the big one. That's not even the big one.
That's not even the big one.
Han Xiao.
Oh, this is Hen Xiao, yeah. Compared to the other one.
This one. Ah!
这个是大的，
Oof.
很肥很胖这个。
It's kind of thin.
Yeah, but it's thick though.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Thick. So you said 22 on that one, or which one did you think?
Yeah, that's what I said.
All right, 18 for me.
Okay, he said 18. I say 22. 18.4.
I was, oh man.
18.2. 18.1.
So 19, because we bled it.
Yeah, 19. Pretty good. 19
good one,
pounder.
that's a good
Oh, those are some nice ones. Look at my size 12 foot next to these salmon. There's going to be some good eating. And potentially, this salmon I'll be eating in 10 years from now. You know, I've showed you this before. Some of you may not have seen it, but an easy way to scale a salmon without making a huge mess at home. Once you get it out on the boat, you can even do it on the boat. It's just run the hose on it backwards and it'll scale just like that. Alrighty, and we're back home. And these right here are the jars that I'm going to be putting the salmon in. So I'm going to be cutting salmon into sizes that fit into this jar. And these are going to sit on the shelf or sit in the basement for however long I need. Maybe until the apocalypse comes, whenever that may be. But first, we got to take the salmon, fillet it, chop it up into pieces. I'm going to do that right now. I have to use 2 cutting boards because I know that the salmon will not fit on one. Alright, we're going to take out the big boy first. Oh my gosh, there she is. What a beautiful fish. What a beautiful fish. I don't even know if that's the big one or not, but I know I'm going to use a lot of towels. Paper towels, dry her off, nice and clean. Clean the inside. And now correct me if I'm wrong. I was thinking, you know, a lot of people always say you don't want to put fresh water on your salmon, but I'm thinking it's on ice, it's fresh water, but it's got the skin, and on the inside it's got the membrane, so that doesn't really count, right? Fresh water is not touching the fish at that point. So I'm going to do this in a way that's a little bit different. I'm going to cut the collars, cut them fat. Well, man, these collars are so big anyway. Just going to cut them up to the head there. All right, keep my knife clean. I'm going to go from the back straight down to the middle bone. Beautiful. Right over that big bone in the middle. Okay, I did it on that side. Now I'm going to flip it over and do it on the other side. As long as your knife is parallel to the floor, you should be hitting it in the right spot. A little unorthodox, but it works, man. Oh yeah. Now you can see on the salmon that it's kind of curved, right? That's where the bone is. Now if I were to go straight across this, just like a lot of people do, just straight across it, just like that, you get a nice clean fillet. But the knife, there's about a 1/4 inch of room under the blade. And if you did that, then you would be missing this whole thick lump right there. Now, there's very minimal waste on this. And what I'm going to do to do the same thing on the other side is I'm going to cut right here, do minimal waste. On the other side, do minimal waste, and then cut off the bones. Now this is the canner. This fits 16 1-pint mason jars, wide mouth. I first heard about this recipe from the other fishing channel, from Andrew. He told me about this way of preserving your fish. Look at this big, huge cast iron pressure cooker. It's got a gauge on top, and this thing looks like a bomb. But if you do this properly, you should be able to preserve your fish or your food theoretically indefinitely. Some people say a year, some people say 5 years, some people say a lifetime. But whether it's 1 year or 10 years, this could be better than freezing it, because you don't have to put this in the refrigerator or the freezer. You can put it in your cupboard, leave it there, just in case an emergency happens 5 years down the line. You got fish that you caught 5 years ago. This is my first time preparing fish like this. From my research, it doesn't matter how tightly you pack the salmon. Now with other types of food, it does matter, but with salmon, it doesn't. So I'm going to lay some of these out, put some salt on it, and then throw some jalapenos in the can, and these will be ready to start cooking. So just some regular sea salt. I'm going to do it as if I were going to cook it. So that should cook in. Now I'm going to leave the skin on. I'm just going to drop a chunk in there. And you know, that's about it. That's a good meal right there. So 1 can for 1 meal. And we're going to do a taste test at the end, of course. So I'm going to do this with the 16 jars. Next up, we're going to chop some jalapenos, put them in. Those add a nice little flavor. Now I'm just going to pack a few, maybe four or 5 pieces in each one. This really reminds me of smoking salmon. You know, there's a process to it, but it should be all worth it when it's done. Now before I throw it in the canner, I'm just going to clean all the lids, make sure that they're clean, oil free, and have a good seal for the lids. So I'm going to do that real quick. Do this with all 16. Now we're almost ready to put it in the canner. From all the videos that I've watched and from the instructions on here, they say to put the cap on hand tight, not too much. And that is because there's a seal, there's a lid in here. See that lid? And that's what's going to stay on the jars afterwards. But as this cooks, this will have gas and moisture, and it'll be coming off, escaping the can. As the can cools, it'll suck it back down. The lid will pop tight. Remember that sound. We do not want that. When this is done, this seal should be down, and then you know it's properly sealed. So hand tightened just enough to let some air out. All my jars are ready to go. This canner comes with these 2 lids here. Put one on the bottom, that's just to keep the cans away from the bottom. So we're going to do 8 in each layer. Now before we put the next layer on top there, it's important that we put some water in it, so I'm going to take that off just so we can see. Now it's so important that you do not let the water evaporate completely in the canner, or else the pressure could build and some terrible things could happen. So we're filling this canner up with about 3 quarts of water. 2 quarts. We're about ready to begin. There's a little notch here and an arrow on the lid. We're going to line those up. Make sure it's good. Give it a little twist. Now, just like if you were tightening your car's tire, you want to tighten the corners, the opposite sides at the same time so everything tightens evenly. So with these 2 sides here, we're going to tighten them both at the same time all the way down. And it should bring the lid snug and tight. All right, now we're going to do the same thing with the other side. Same time. There's 6 screws here. We're just going to tighten them both down at the same time so everything stays even. Now everything looks like it's even all around. Now remember, don't lift here. This is not made for lifting. Lift from the handles on the sides. Wah! Now you could do this on your home stove, but I'm doing it out here on the propane burner just because it's going to cook it a little bit faster, or at least get the water up to temperature faster. So got a good flame going. I'm going to bring out the canner right now. All I'm going to do is just put it right here on the flame. Now this will heat all the water slowly. It's got a pressure gauge here, and remember, we're cooking under pressure. So we're going to cook it under 10 pounds of pressure for 110 minutes. Now we don't start the timer immediately. We wait until the pressure builds, and we wait until steam comes out of the nipple for 10 minutes straight. Then we have this weight right here, which has 5 pounds, 10 pounds, and 15 pounds. And that we put on the nipple after it's been steaming for 10 minutes. This is what it looks like. Now there's been a steady stream of steam coming out of this nipple for about 10 minutes. Now all the empty spaces or whatever probably has been filled. So now it's time to put the regulator on, and now we start the timer. Now we're put the regulator on for the 10-pound increment right there. All right, now this should build up pressure, and once it gets up to 10 pounds, this regulator will start wobbling. Now you don't want it to be wobbling too much or it's too hot. So you want it to wobble 4 times per minute. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of steam being released, and you're leaving this for almost 2 hours. So you do not only want to put half a cup, even just 1 cup of water in the canner. You want to make sure that there's enough where it all doesn't evaporate, because that could be catastrophe for this thing. If you boil this thing with no water, you cannot use it again. You have to replace it. So don't mess up your $300 canner. 110 minutes is done. Man, I honestly feel like I've done this before. It's really actually quite simple. So now I'm going to turn the heat off, turn it off completely. Now it's important, do not take the valve off yet or the steam will come out too fast. You want it to come out slowly, and at the same time you want to keep an eye on this pressure gauge. Once the gauge reaches 0, then you take off the valve. After it reaches 0, you can also loosen the lids and open it facing away from you, just in case there's any steam or pressure. It'll shoot that way and not burn your skin. Now if you waited too long and you let this pressure get below 0, and let's say you let it sit there for an hour, there would be a vacuum. There would be a vacuum seal. This pressure monitor, gauge, whatever you call it, would stick to the valve, and this lid would stick to the valve also. So you wouldn't want to do that. Just keep an eye on it. When it reaches 0, take the valve off. We are about at 0 pressure. Let's remove the thing. Still a little bit of steam coming out, but I'm going to start to remove the lid and loose. Now if there's any extra pressure built up in here, you want all the steam, like I said, to go that way. So I'm going to lift it up facing this way. There we go. So it looks like there's about 1 inch of standing water on the bottom. It boiled and steamed for almost 2 hours. A lot of that water disappeared. So make sure you have enough water when you start this process. It's been about 5 minutes, and I was really worried that these cans would not seal. But after they were sitting for about 5 minutes, I started hearing pop, 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 pop. All the seals went down. Everything on top here has been sealed. I've watched a few canning videos, but in all the ones that I've seen, no one's really popped one open to test it and taste it. So that's exactly what I'm going to do once these cool down. A little jar of gold, jalapeno, king salmon, and some salt. The funny thing is, what turned me off to this at the start was this method is called pickling salmon. I had no idea that it has nothing to do with a pickled flavor. It's just you're pickling it in a jar. So a lot of people might be turned off by the word pickling salmon, but it has nothing to do with the pickle taste. So I should be able to take off this cap here, and it's completely sealed. All right, so I should be able to pop this right off. There's no gap. Let's pop it off and see if it's sealed well. Oh man, yes it did. Can't even pop it. Let's use the fork. It smells a little musty, kind of like a thick smell, if you know what I mean. Jalapeno on top. Looks all right. I'm gonna try this juice first. Let's see how this tastes. All right, nothing special, just like a broth, like a chicken stock, like a fish stock almost, but not fishy at all. Let's try the salmon. Could use some more salt for sure. I didn't want to add too much because I knew I could add some more after the fact. I'm definitely going to add salt next time. The main thing for me though with this is preserving it. If you can keep this for 5 to 10 years, once you can get the recipe down, totally worth it. I mean, it's not bad though. I could add some salt. I could put this on a sandwich. It's not amazing. It's not bad. It's like a 6 to 7 out of 10. But if you can preserve it, this is a 10 out of 10. This is in its own league. Got to work on the flavor though. If anybody has some canning tips, let me know. Did I cook it too long? Did I not season it correctly? Let me know. I'm totally open to suggestions, totally open to criticism. So let me know. Otherwise, this is another method you can use. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Phil, for taking me out for salmon. That was an amazing day. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys next Thursday or Sunday.